What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 89 of Lobbing, Scorchers. This is Ari and Noah. We got a big show this morning, or we're recording this early Tuesday morning. How are you feeling?
I'm loving it, man. We're in my own home today.
Mm-hmm.
We swapped out from the Lobbing Scorchers mansion and we came to Noah's apartment. And I'm ready for a draw pod. I don't really want to talk about this. I keep saying this, sorry. I don't want to talk about this game, but we don't shy away from bad results.
We got a draw pod, but we've got a lot of other topics to hit today, that some of which are very interesting. So looking forward to getting into it. As you mentioned, the Seattle Sounders played the Houston Dynamo in Matchday 5 with a chance to salvage the vibes, which I think it's fair to say have taken a decided downturn in recent weeks. This was a chance, I think, to get a galvanizing result in front of 31,000 people with Nico Lodeiro back in the building, get the season back on track. Instead, they took a 0-0 draw at Lumen Field. We're going to talk about that, unfortunately, in our game review. But we do have a red-hot Seattle Sounders transfer rumor, courtesy of Nico Moreno. It seems like the Seattle Sounders are on track to get a new player, so that's pretty exciting. We're going to talk about that. We're going to hit our agenda check, and then we're going to dive into some reaction on the other results from around MLS. So it's going to be a good episode 89. But before we get into all that, I do have to let you all know that Lobbing Scorchers is a part of the Sounder at Heart podcast network. If you want to get the best independent Seattle soccer coverage, consider supporting us by going to sounderatheart.com/LS. Noah, what's that link?
Sounderatheart.com/LS.
Scroll down to subscribe and support to get 30 days completely free. Every sign up through our link helps support and grow this show. The road to 100 Sounder at Heart subs is on track now more than ever. It's a great time to become a member with the season in full swing. Subscribers also now get access to the audio-only versions of our live shows right to your podcast feed. Big perk. The live shows have been a lot of fun. We even broke news on our live show yesterday morning. So we're going to get to that. But if you're not tuning in to Lobbing Scorchers kickoff every Monday at 8 a.m. and Under the Lights every Thursday at 7:30 p.m., stop on by. It's a lot of fun. You get to interact with me live and ask questions and talk to other fans. It's a great time. So definitely stop by those. And shout out to our sponsors, Hacks and Ferments, Podium Menswear, and Full Pull Wines. Please patronize all of our sponsors. That really helps them and us out. And if you use our code LS for your order on Hacks and Ferments, you get a free bottle of hot sauce with your order, and it's genuinely a very good product.
Correct.
Noah, is there any new subs?
There is one new sub.
One.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Thank you to Devin Hansen for becoming our 82nd sub.
82. We take that.
We're getting there. The road is steep. But we're getting to 100.
Let's set a goal before episode 90. Let's get to 83.
Oh yeah.
If we can get to 83 subs, we will take that. Anything else to show there, Noah, or should we just get into this?
No, I wanted to say that we did an interview with the GM of the West Seattle Junction.
USL League 2.
Yep. So this is their second season, rival to Ballard. And we had a lot of fun with him. It was like, he's genuinely like one of the coolest guys
He's cool. He's got a good thing going with West Seattle Junction FC. It's the Ballard FC rival for anyone who might not know, and they're on the up. Like, we had a good talk with Corey Hinthorn is his name, and he gave us the whole lowdown on what they're doing in USL League 2, and support local soccer. It's a really good scene, and I didn't know the soccer scene in West Seattle was as abundant as it appears to be, but it is.
And I gotta say, for anyone who's interested in like a guy who really loves West Seattle, loves where he's from, he said he was third generation from there. He literally has the team's slogan tattooed on his arm. Like, he loves this. Like, we talked even like an hour and a half after we recorded the podcast, just me and him. And he's a guy who loves what he does. And I'm really excited to go and see them play this season and for you guys to see this interview. So that'll be out in the next few weeks. It'll be a standalone, exclusive interview. We got into some drama. We got into promotion and relegation. We talked it all. So look forward to that. And I'm just really excited to put that out. So that's all my promo. Shilling over.
All right. Noah, let's jump into our game review. Seattle Sounders 0, Houston Dynamo Zero.
Brain cells,
it was
zero.
It was a riveting contest at Lumen Field, just back and forth, high octane, attacking end-to-end action. But unfortunately, neither team found the score sheet. Let's hit our lineup reaction to start it off because, there was a lot going on with this lineup, obviously. No Nuhu in this game, no Obed in this game, both on international duty. You had Jesus Ferreira with another run at the 9 with Jordan Morris still out. You had right mid rolled on in this game.
He's always
it's funny.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. Every year we're like, all right, Christian's got a set position. This is going to be his role. He's doing really well with it. And every year he either ends up playing right mid or right back by the 5th game of the season. That's just how. I think if Christian is playing right mid, that's like symbolic of the state of things, injury wise and absence wise. And so this, I think, was a good example of that. This was a motley crew out there for this game. Yeah, you had a J Bell start, you had the JP Danny Leva double pivot, and no Nuhu, no Obed. So I think what the lineup looks like informs my expectations sometimes. If I see a kind of, like I said, a motley crew like this, my expectations generally become more just get a win by any means necessary. I don't really care that much how it looks. But I will say in this game, you're playing at home against a Houston Dynamo team that's also depleted and not very good. Even more depleted, but also not very good, even if they're
definitely not
depleted. And
a team you should be able to beat depleted when they're full strength.
You should be able to score 1 goal against them.
Yeah.
With the lineup they had out there, you should be able to score 1 goal against the depleted Houston Dynamo.
Jimmy Maurer. Do you know about the lore of him?
Jimmy Maurer didn't even...
he didn't even finish the game.
Yeah, he didn't even finish the game. They brought like a 22-year-old
on his
goalkeeper on his debut out there. So,
but I'm saying Jimmy Maurer, FC Dallas super sub string legend. Like, I didn't even know he was playing in MLS anymore. Like
he was on FC Dallas until like last year, maybe.
Yeah.
I think he's just always going to be in MLS.
Yeah.
But
shout out Jimmy Maurer.
Shout out
Jimmy Maurer.
Anyway, there's not that many key moments to go over in this game, frankly. I thought Seattle's chance generation was like sufficient to get a goal in theory, but they didn't.
Right.
But it's not like there was 0 chances. JP had the one just over the bar. I thought that was a pretty good look. You had Christian and Paul Rothrock forcing the goalkeeper into some really nice saves. I feel like there was a couple of other solid looks, I guess.
Yeah.
But they couldn't score, and I guess that leads me to just sort of how I see this game in general, which is, like I said, it was a chance for a galvanizing result, chance to get a win that was badly needed and get things back on track. And it was a missed opportunity, but more than that, it was representative of a talking point that I was hoping that we would be able to avoid, which is that, like, Noah, after the Charlotte game where they blew the lead and it was 2-2 and everyone was feeling kind of sour about that result, you had people out there saying, "Oh, same old Sounders," and we took issue with that. We were like, no, that was
clearly not.
That was clearly not. Like this offense has looked meaningfully better with Pedro de la Vega in the mix and Jordan Morris playing like this and Paul Arriola looking pretty good. Jesus Ferreira had been doing some good work as a facilitator. So it was not the same old Sounders in that game, and that talking point was incorrect. This game, that was what the Seattle Sounders were doing last year. That was honestly a carbon copy. And unfortunately, anyone dishing that talking point of that looked like the team that we saw last year is correct. So that was my first unfortunate takeaway. Like, I don't think that's an overreaction. I think that is very I don't really know how you could come to any other conclusion, frankly, after watching that, which obviously the injury situation sucks and is brutal. And I'm even willing to accept that given the injuries and absences in the situation with the roster right now, I don't expect them to look like Real Madrid out there. I don't think they're going to be hanging 3 to 5 goals on even this Houston Dynamo team. But that being said, they should have been able to score a goal in this game. I don't think that is an unreasonable expectation. And I think the consternation and criticism towards the offense in this game is merited. And, Rusnak and Ferreira are a part of that. And that's basically what I came out of this thinking.
Yeah, this game was a stinker. This game felt like two teams that were kind of rotated, but just depleted. You know what I mean? And even that said, I think the Sounders did have some good opportunities. I thought Paul Rothrock brought it pretty good in this game. He scored a volley that was offside. I guess he didn't score it because it was offside, but he had a nice finish on that. He had a nice finish that went over the bar, I think. There was a cross from Paul Rothrock that a defender tried and cut out in the 60th minute, and it was literally an inch from going in on an own goal. It was literally right there. And then that shot that Albert pulled back, he was in the box, squared up, and he pulled the shot back and made that pass to Alex Roldan, and it was saved. That was a great opportunity. And I understand that, people don't like it when we say, well, there were opportunities there. They didn't look terrible. They didn't look awful. I saw people crashing out about this game more than I've seen about any other game this season. And I was sitting there watching it that was not a fun game to watch, but I'm not super concerned. I think we can get into the discourse about Jesus Ferreira, but something that coach had said in the postgame presser was I'm not going to get mad at him. This is essentially his second 1.5 start at the 9. It's his first full game playing at the 9. It's going to take time for him to get settled in. We've been saying that. And I don't know, that's just what it felt like, was an unlucky game that, Houston came there to grind out a draw, to grind out a defensive game. They played their game correctly. I'm not saying it's a good result, and I'm not saying that anyone should be, patting them on the back for it, but it's this felt like a March game against a Houston team during an international window. I don't know. What do you see it any differently than that?
I just think that all those things that you said are correct and should be taken into account. But I do think if fans came out of that feeling all those things taken into account, you should be able to score 1 goal against the Houston Dynamo at home.
Yeah,
I think that's fair and merited. I don't know about full on crashing out, but I think the negative feelings that people have coming out of that result, especially because what I was saying, man, it's we can sit here and say they had some good chances, the XG was cooking, but how many times during the first couple months of the season last year did we say that same thing? At a certain point that stops mattering. You got to be able to score against the Houston Dynamo at home.
Well, we know I'm famously anti-XG, so you're right.
Yeah, exactly. You were kind of advocating for it there.
We had to switch. We actually switched positions there.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just how I came out of it feeling.
I think, for me, maybe I'm just, because I've found Nirvana, with this team, and accepted the reality of what it is right now. It's am I happy? Whatever. No, not really. I agree with you. You should be able to get a goal against this Houston team, against a goalkeeper who has literally never played a single MLS minute, against the goals wouldn't have counted, but
yeah,
I would have hoped that we could have done that. Another thing, I don't know if you want to get into positives and negatives or whatever, but there was just some things that I had written down that I saw during the game, because
actually do the positives and negatives.
I wrote for Sounder at Heart for the first time. I did their gamer, which, folks, let me tell you what, writing it's not my specialty. So that was a tough one. But positives, it was a clean sheet, I guess. I don't know what's a positive from this. No one got hurt.
Even me and Nico were talking about this. Even the clean sheet, it's like they weren't even trying to score. So how much credit?
Well, I will say they got spread really poorly, towards the end. The same thing that happens in the final 10 minutes of every goddamn game where they're trying to push for another goal, where they get spread so bad, and you don't have a player like Jordan who's going to come back and just sprint back and defend, or you just get people caught out wide, whatever it is, and it they were able to kind of shift back. But how much of that, to your point, was you're playing the Houston Dynamo, and how much of that is they actually were playing well defensively?
Yeah, I guess here's how I see this, which is that this game in isolation, if they're able to turn it around in the next set of games here, start banging in some goals, figuring out how to play without their injured guys a little better, Ferreira gets gradually more integrated, and they start racking points, I'm willing to forget and discount this game entirely, given the circumstances. But what they need to try and avoid, obviously, at all costs, is a situation where it becomes a sustained run where it looks like Groundhog Day last year. If they go into these next few weeks and it becomes just 1-1 or 1-1-0-0s, grinding out really low scoring, boring draws like this, especially at home, then again, the people who are saying that we're watching a repeat of last year, I can't say that they would be wrong in that situation.
That game was 100% a replay of last year.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're gonna see. I'm open-minded. I'm willing to give them a chance to prove that is wrong. We don't know that that's the outcome yet, but I definitely I don't blame anyone for having kind of an ominous oh man, is this what we're in for the next few weeks?
But can I say something that may be controversial? And
no, please.
Yes, absolutely. The worst of the worst, no one's integrated, no one has their best game, whatever. Your literal floor is last year. Hey, guess what last year got you? To a Western Conference final and 15 minutes away from MLS Cup.
But not from playing like that.
I'm just saying
they
if that's your
quite
floor.
A lot. Yeah. And I guess I'll do my positives and negatives, but I guess I would accept that as a positive, which is that it does not appear that it's a bottom is going to fall out type situation. It doesn't appear that they're going to be non-competitive or getting overrun by anybody, but that's not the standard we should be holding them to.
No. And I'm not trying to turn this as guys, this isn't bad. I'm just trying to say if this is the world falling,
it could be worse.
It could be. I've seen so much worse from this team. So if this is depleted with injuries, with a guy who has literally played 95 minutes at the 9 position, who looked, and we can talk about this too. This was my positive. I thought he looked better at the 9. He was not. He was staying more forward. He was playing more of a center forward position instead of this roaming false 9-10, getting in Rusnak's space. I don't think he was amazing. I don't think that he was clinical or lethal or even a threat. He literally had 0 shots, which how? I'm not saying he looked good. I'm just saying he looked better. And if you can consistently get better in your second, noticeably better in your second time out on the park, what? I mean,
I think 2 things can be true. His integration is turning out to be more of a gradual process than we would have hoped, and that's honestly to be expected to a certain extent. Anytime you're integrating someone into a new team, that's probably going to be a part of it. So that is true. And then they also should have been able to score 1 goal against the Houston Dynamo at home. even with that and taken into account.
Yeah.
I'll hit my positives and negatives. Positives, the Seattle Reign, Noah.
Yes.
Big dub. Did you see this goal?
I did. That goal was Bug on her first goal, professional goal.
If you have not seen the Jordan Bug goal that for Seattle Reign at North Carolina, that might be the goal of the NWSL season. That was incredible.
The way she teed that up.
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know if that meant or if that made SportsCenter top 10, but that should have been number 1.
It made Lobbing Scorchers top 10.
It's number 1. It's the best Lobbing Scorchers goal of the year so far. So
and we should plug our besties at the Cooler Guild who broke that whole game down and talked about it. They have literally been Jordan Bug like evangelists. Like, you know how we were Paul Rothrock evangelists? Mm-hmm. They've been doing it for Jordan Bug, so it's even more of a banger for them. So
sub to the Cooler Guild right now. Sub to the Cooler Guild. The Nico ceremony was nice.
It was sick, yeah.
I thought so there's been a lot of kind of drama with that. You know, he feels like he was talking to Nico Moreno about it after the game, and he was very upfront about how he felt pretty sad about how that went down this offseason, and it seems like he feels a little disrespected, which is unfortunate, man. Like, you never want a club legend, especially the club legend, like the build the statue guy, to feel that way. But the ceremony was, I mean, they did it up for him.
They did.
I thought it was awesome how they lined up all the trophies that he won with this team.
Adrian even came out there.
Adrian came out there. The crowd was going crazy. Mm-hmm. And I honestly think that's sort of what made the game even more of a letdown is that the building was actually most buzzing it has been all season.
I was going to say that was going to be one of my positives was just the attendance. Like, I have not seen...
There's a lot of people there. They were into it.
Yeah. It seems like... And I think that was the first match where they did the free... tickets to. So like that rocks. I think people came out to come see Nico. I think people came out because there were free tickets. I think people came out because March Madness was in town and people just wanted more sports. Yeah, like to be in front of that many fans and to put on that performance, that's a negative. The positive is the people showed up. The negative is like you couldn't give them a good show.
Exactly. Like if it just feels like that if they had been able to put on a show and bang in a couple goals and take a win, it just would have helped the vibe so much, and they couldn't quite get it done. So that's why I think it felt like more of a letdown. But I think that was a great way. That was a great way to honor Nico and everything he's done for the club,
build the statue,
city, and the organization. Build the statue. My other positive. I mean, it is still March, you know, like
it's week 5.
The dropping points at the rate that they're doing it right now, it definitely can sink you later in the season, but we're at the point where it doesn't necessarily have to. Right. It's a long ass season. So really, until we get into the summer, and if it still looks like this and it's not improved by the summer, then I'll be a lot more tilted. But for now, it's early enough where there is a lot of time, and I'm gonna keep saying that until the timeline starts to run out. You know, like as long as they've got time, there's still a chance. Jordan Morris will ostensibly be back eventually.
Same with Pedro de la Vega.
And Pedro de la Vega.
He's been like taking shots and like training pretty hard.
Which I think any evaluation of the attack right now should include the context that the two best attackers two of the best attackers on the team are both out injured, and then Paul Arriola, who's going to be a key player for this team.
Yeah, he was playing amazing.
Yeah, he was looking really good. So, like I said, with all three of those guys out, the reality is it should be expected that the offense is going to suffer a little bit, but I mean, like I said, that doesn't mean that that doesn't justify getting shut out by the Houston Dynamo at home. But it does mean that when Jordan and De La Vega get back, I would be pretty surprised if that doesn't improve things.
And that's kind of where I am.
Well, and then the other thing about that, though, is that I think we expected more of the depth to be able to withstand a situation like this, even though it is admittedly like it's about as like chalked an injury situation as you could possibly have. Like, it's fair to point that out too.
I just imagine another team losing ostensibly 3 DPs. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like if I don't know, I'm just going to pick a random team. Like if the Chicago Fire, who have been on a winning streak, if they lost their 3
Hugo Kuipers, Jonathan Bamba, and
some
Brian
like
Gutierrez.
Yeah, some high TAM player, right?
Yeah.
Like if they, dude, they're done.
Right.
They're done. Like they're losing all of those
Most
games.
MLS teams would be, but again, we held this team to a higher standard.
But I think that what I'm saying is like it shows that they're able to. I'm not saying that a draw is good, and I'm not saying that their last result was good either. I'm just saying that like, what's the reality of the situation? Let's come back to like when we get these other players back, can we like realistically then we can judge if this is the 2024, 2023 XG merchants.
I still have no doubt that at something approaching relative full health, this team can be a contender in the West. I have no doubt that they can push for home games in the playoffs and make a run in the playoffs. I think the reason why people feel justifiably disappointed is that this was built as a team that was deep enough to withstand a situation like this. And at least, like, literally, man, like 1 goal against the Houston Dynamo. I'm going to keep saying it. It's not like an unreasonable expectation for that lineup. I don't think Schmetz or any of the players would tell you that that's an unreasonable expectation. Like, so that's, I guess, getting into the negatives, which I'll hit now. I guess my last positive was that Obed is also like, I think you felt Obed's absence in this game. Like I thought the JP Danny Leyva double pivot was.
I don't think JP looks good.
I thought it was fine, but like Obed's level is typically a lot
so
better
much to
than
the attack too.
Yeah,
like I don't think people do actually understand how good he is, but he cuts out passes and he turns the attack so fast and like makes up so much ground that like there's just not another player like him really I don't think in the league, but just
definitely not on this roster.
Definitely not on the roster. Yeah.
Negatives. I mean, I pretty much hit all of them already, but I'll read what I wrote down anyway. Got shut out at home.
Yep.
Never good. Looked like last year's team. Talked about that. Ferreira integration. Like you said, I think better, but still, I mean, he didn't score, and I don't think he looked like
if you don't get a shot,
and like I think there was like a couple better moments, but that's kind of tough to hang your hat on, like with how things are going at the moment. But I do think that it's like anything, man. Like the more you work on it and drill something, it's gonna improve. And he's been a provenly good enough player in this league where I have no doubt that'll happen. It's just that until it does, this might be what we're looking at. So that's unfortunate. And then, again, talked about this already, but I wrote depth isn't living up to its billing. And that's where...
I just don't agree. I don't know.
Really?
I just don't agree. You're missing 5 starters.
Yeah?
You're missing 5 starters. What do you expect any team? The depth. Depth was never going to be able to operate missing 5 starters. It doesn't matter.
You had this is where I'm not trying to sound like brigade, but I think this is a situation where it's fair to say if you have Rusnak out there, if you have Ferreira, your biggest offseason arrival out there. Is it going to look amazing with the injury situation we're talking about? No. Like, are they going to be scoring 3+ goals? Probably not. But when you've got like your highest paid attacker and your biggest offseason trade arrival out there, I think it's plenty fair to say that getting shut out at home is like not what should have happened. Like they and like those guys, like the depth lineup, should have been able to step up in that situation, circumstances notwithstanding.
I just think like you have more than just 5 guys out. You have another guy who has not played the position that he's been in with this team. Him and Rusnak are already, like we saw it with Rusnak and Jordan when Rusnak was integrating back into that position. They were getting in each other's space all the time. And it was like this kind of mess of a figuring it out sequence. It's like, ostensibly you have 2 players who are the most important, are not familiar with each other yet. And that's like, you have to take that. That's basically another 2 starters out because it takes them from starter DP quality to like, I don't know. If you ever played a pickup game, like sometimes you click with people, sometimes you don't. Like, I don't know, it's just random, you know? And I'm not saying that that's the standard that we should set for the Sounders or anything. I'm just trying to say, like, the context of it all, like, I'm not crashing out about this game. Like, this was so rotated. This was such a silly, like, I don't know.
I think we have to see what happens over this next set of games. Like I said,
there were just people going insane.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't full on crash out over a soccer game no matter how bad it got. But like, I get the frustration is what I'm saying. Like, it's not like you can't get shut out at home against the Houston Dynamo in front of 31K.
But it happens.
And then expect people to be like happy about that.
it happens. Like, it's March. It happens.
It happens, but it happened a lot last year too.
Sure. But it's March and it happens. Like, that's MLS. Like, I don't know. We play through international breaks. It's stupid. Like, maybe we should be yelling at MLS. You know?
I mean, yeah, we can.
How does this game change if Obed's involved? How does this game? I mean, I know the Nuhu, whatever. You know, I'm not a super big Nuhu defender, but like, that's a piece.
The defense was fine in this game. I think it's kind of hard to judge because, again, like Ben Olsen literally admitted that they were playing for the 0-0. But like I said, I'm gonna let this next set of games play out, and if they improve, start scoring goals. Maybe in this Quakes game, one goal. If they could get one goal, that's a good start. Little benchmark there, and maybe if they're feeling frisky, 2 goals. And if they do that in this game, I'll be like, okay, I can the Houston game, I can whatever that a little bit. You know, like that was like you said, totally ravaged lineup with Ferreira not integrated yet. Like, you know, Rusnak doesn't have his boys right now, Morris and De La Vega, who I think he's shown to be a very good force multiplier when I think that's Max Aquino's term. Like, I think that might be the thing with Rusnak. It's like he's an excellent force multiplier, but like we're gonna see if he can like actually put things on his back. And if he's able to at least, like I said, man, I don't need this squad bamming in 4 goals a game. Just get me 1 goal against the goddamn San Jose Earthquakes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Rusnak, to me, I don't know if anyone's played Balatro. I don't know if you've played Balatro. It's a little game. He's like the multiplier, like you were saying. Like, he's the X2, you know, like the 2 times. But you got to have the number in front to multiply it. If it's 1 times 2, it's 1. If it's 100 times 2, you know, it's 200. It's like you've got to have the pieces there for him to be successful. Argue in the comments whether he should be, you know, I don't know, not be a DP because of that. But like, I don't even think he played poorly. Like, I think he created multiple chances. He had that really nice pullback on the shot, like I was talking about, and made a pass out to Alex Roldan, who, I mean,
that was a nice sequence.
That was a nice sequence, and like there was opportunities that he made. I'm not saying that I don't want to talk about this game anymore. I give up. Let's go to agenda check.
Let's hit our agenda check. What do you got, Noah? Do you want to dish yours?
All right, I got one agenda. It is about Jesus Ferreira, the Holy Ghost agenda.
Explain.
Do you get the bit? Because it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit kind of thing. Yeah. So he went ghost. I'm sorry. If you want to say Albert Rusnak goes ghost every game, Jesus Ferreira went ghost, dude. 0 shots on goal. That's despicable. That's despicable, bro.
I mean, were you just saying though that like but
not one?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that, even with the integration process, like it's not. I don't even think it's just about him. I think everyone out there deserves whatever criticism they get, you know, for not being able to score a goal in this game, or not even. It's not even about deserving it. It's just like to be expected, you know.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think. Listen, he was not good. I'm not trying to say he was good. I'm just saying, like, not 1 shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that.
That's crazy.
I just think that like as much. I try to acknowledge when I miss the mark or get something wrong. So I'll hold my hand up here. Like when I was really high on this trade, and I'm still actually high on what he can bring to the team once they get him more integrated. But I was hopeful and perpetuating the notion that his prior MLS experience and his prior experience playing with some of the guys on this team would theoretically expedite his integration more, and he would be able to hit the ground running at the start of the season and for Champions League, maybe more than an average player or like a player coming in from outside the league. I was hopeful about that, and I thought that was a decently likely outcome given what I've seen from him as a player throughout his career and the experience he had playing with guys from the national team. And all that did not pan out like that. It's clearly a thing where it's more like integrating a player that came in from wherever than it is like a guy who you think, oh, he can like slide in right away and look like he's been on this team for a while. That just didn't happen. So,
and he seems like he's a player who needs a little bit. He can't just like fit into any position either. Like he needs to kind of be a centerpiece, is what it feels like.
I'm staying open-minded. I'm gonna give it time for him to integrate.
This is a Pro Jesus podcast,
and for it to improve. It's just that doesn't really like do much for this exact moment, you know? And
not at all.
Like realistically, Jordan and De La Vega are going to be out for a few more weeks here, so it's not like there's a whole heck of a lot of time. So.
Yeah. My other one here, I wanted to jump back to the Pedro De La Vega is the savior agenda.
Oh, this is a throwback.
Listen, I mean, we've been tough on the kid, but seeing what this team was without him and over the last few weeks, I want to know from you at least, does it kind of like paint him in an even better light?
I mean, as far as what he brings to the team and what we saw him bring to the team this year, then yeah, like I see what you're saying, but I think that sort of illustrates what the problem is, which is that he hasn't been able to stay on the field.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine to say that the team would look better if he was playing, but if they can't keep him on the field, like, what am I supposed to do with that information?
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, it would look better if he was playing, but he's not and hasn't been a lot. And like, it's really like, I hate when people propose the notion that it's like a player's fault for getting injured, you know?
Right.
Like, it's not like, I feel bad for him, and especially because of how good I think that he's looked to start the year here, but it's just tough, man. Like, he hasn't been able to stay on the field. It's unfortunate.
Well, I think that's really the key, right? Like, his talent is undeniable at this point, but he just, and this is why I was trying to another reason why I was trying to slow expectations is like, it's kind of comical at this point. It seems like every time you see him being God tier, he like reaches a new level you thought previously impossible. And there it is, a muscle injury, a knee, a calf, a butt, a toe, I don't know, he's going to break his nose next. Who knows? Like, it's just, I don't understand how you can continue. And you talked with Joe Lowry about this, and he was kind of down on De La Vega. I think he's
been down on it.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the national people who haven't watched him play like when he has played like we have are probably looking at the whole thing like it's a categorical bust, which I think that is going to be what is determined through the rest of this season. What I was talking to Joe and Nico about is like, if I feel like they're getting to a situation where it's like, all right, we give this one more run. We ramp him up, get him healthy, and put him back out there and hope that he can consistently be the player that elevates this team like we all hoped and expected that he could be. And if he does his hammy again, then like things are going to have to be assessed regarding the future.
Yeah, you can't be a DP and not play.
Yeah, like that's hard. Might sound harsh, but that's just like the reality.
That's just like it's nothing
to do with like
it's not a comment on his quality. It's a comment on the reality of a league where you are constrained by
your heavy reliance
caps.
on these roster spots. Yeah.
So I mean that's brutal. Okay, here's my last agenda. This is something I noted in my game recap, but the Georgie is found out agenda. They slammed Georgie with 3 defenders in this match whenever he was on the ball.
And they were tackling him.
They were like literally like rugby.
Throwing him to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pulled off 2 different players got yellow cards for like
literally throwing him down.
Yeah, like just not even it's like a tactical foul, but like tactical rugby foul.
Yeah. I don't know about found out, but that definitely that was the Houston Dynamo. That was one approach to defending him is if he's about to like truck through you, you just grab him and tackle him.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't think they were red card fouls, but it was like the definition of cynical.
Yeah, it was I mean, it was very clearly a yellow card. Like both of them were yellow cards, and like I don't know. It just sucks to see people kind of like, all right, he's good. Fucking defend him harder. Like
he's a handful. I don't know how I would defend him if I was trying to.
I think that's effective because his getting out of those situations, he's not necessarily going to make a really tight pass or, the one where they had literally
3 guys on him.
That's what I'm saying. And Schmetzer even said this.
Someone's going to be open if you have 3 on him.
Yeah, but if you have 3 on you too,
how are you supposed to find the outlet?
He's not good in tight passing windows, like in my opinion. So like he can play a cross in on a tight passing window, but they're not letting him get to the position where he's dangerous on the cross. So I thought they defended him well, but I think like that's a blueprint for the way that people are going to take him. And it's not as hard to pull 3 defenders late in the game to just swarm a guy because you're already probably going to be playing a deeper line. When you deploy him, unless he's starting, he's usually just pressing. So you're already back in your half. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting little wrinkle, but this is something that Schmetzer had noted in his post-game presser, which was kind of why I wanted to bring it out. Is he's like, yeah, well, the league's finding out about Georgie. Yeah, they're figuring it out a little bit on what he has to give. So I think if they train him more on those tight passing windows, and if he can get his passing a little bit better, like he could be insane. Because if you can pull, dude, he's basically DK Metcalf. Like you know what I'm saying? Like DK Metcalf would pull 2-3 defenders, and then you would have one of the other 2 passing options open. If not to be a football podcast.
It was a interesting little new wrinkle that the Dynamo deployed against him. I hadn't seen a team try that yet.
Yeah,
it kind of worked. Yeah,
yeah, it worked.
All right, should I hit my agendas?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, mine are Noah. You down to clown on the U.S. men's national fraud squad a little bit?
Yeah, can we do it? Why don't we break? We'll do an ad break.
Okay,
we'll recap the game a little bit, and then we'll bam on the bot squad.
Okay,
and then do those as agendas.
We're gonna take a little ad break. We'll be right back.
The Seattle Sounders' brand new 2025 kit is here, inspired by 2 traditional Southern Coast Salish weaving techniques, twilling and twinning. These techniques, passed down through generations, honor the resilience, deep-rooted ties, and creativity that define the cultural fabric of this region. The striking deep blue jersey will be worn by the Sounders for the next 2 seasons to honor the club's deep connection with the Puget Sound and shared responsibility as stewards of the greater Salish Sea watershed. Backing up that commitment, the Seattle Sounders will donate up to $50,000 to benefit community charities around the Puget Sound region. To get your very own Salish Sea kit, visit lobbingscorchers.com/kit. That's lobbingscorchers.com/KIT.
So yeah, my agendas are regarding
that you might have skipped the ad, and if you did,
don't skip the ads.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
Regarding the U.S. men's national fraud squad, no, I did about 30 minutes on stream the other night, having a good little laugh at their CONCACAF Nations League campaign, which did not go especially well.
It went well for us.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the up after it. I thought it was funny. The Pochettino, so on the stream I was calling him Pocatino, and then I shortened that to Poke, which is not the correct pronunciation, but I think I'm going to keep calling him that.
Okay, but this is literally the mispronunciation podcast.
Well,
that's like our whole
thing. But also the nickname Poke is kind of makes him sound like a goofball.
Yeah,
and I think
like
that's what he might be, which I guess that brings me to my first point, which is that, I mean, you can go watch this stream for my full takes on it, but like I think this guy might not know what he is doing. Like,
well, you did coach Chelsea. Like,
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what's so funny about it is that he is the man that the bots have been touting as what is needed to elevate this quote unquote golden generation. Like Greg Berhalter isn't getting enough out of these players, but if we hire a real coach, that's going to get this team going. Like that's what we need. They've been saying that for years, have they not?
They've been literally saying
that for years. And I can honestly not think of any way that this era could be going worse. It is not only not going well, it's pretty much already a joke.
Yeah.
It's pretty much already a joke. And that brings me to my first agenda, which is that if you're one of the USMNT fans who has spent the last 5 to 7 years trashing on guys like Giassi Zardes, Jordan Morris, Christian Roldan, Jesus Ferreira, you should just... I'm going to redo that.
Yeah.
Was that Siri?
I don't know.
If you're one of the USMNT bots that has spent the last 5 to 7 years trashing on guys like Giassi Zardes, Jordan Morris, Christian Roldan, Jesus Ferreira, you should just stop talking. Just shut up. All the points that you've been making for the last 5 to 7 years look so unbelievably brain dead. You need to just give it a rest. Because we want to talk about if the team was embarrassing under Berhalter. The team won Nations League 3 times under Berhalter. I'm not saying that makes Berhalter like an amazing coach, but this is a joke. This is a joke, and this outcome happened after like those fans got what they wanted, and this is what happens. I mean, I can't think of anything more embarrassing than what we saw in these Nations League games compared to the outcome we were supposed to get from this guy. He's got time, I guess, to salvage it, but I mean, I just feel like it's already just like laughably bad, and like you want to talk trash about Jordan Morris on the U.S. men's national team? He's got 11 goals. How many does Josh Sargent have in his career in the last 5 years? Like 0. He has 5 for his career. He hasn't scored any since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So until all the Euro boys actually play better than these guys that you've been trashing on, my agenda is that you should just pipe it down. Because you look absolutely ridiculous.
It's quite funny to me, you know, the discourse that's been going on about the Euro frauds, as I call them, and continued to have it. And someone made a really good point on Blue Sky that I saw, which was essentially, why does a guy like Christian Pulisic, Tim Weah, Tyler Adams, who apparently is one of the best players in the world, according to himself, by the way. You're an idiot, Tyler Adams. You're dumb. You're not good. An MLS lifer is better than you, and I will stand on that. Christian Roldan literally is more impactful in all of his games he's ever played in his life than you are. So
that is hot.
I don't give a shit. He's bad. He's not a good player. I don't care. These USMNT fans want to say whatever they want to say about MLS players. I'm going to say it about your Euro fraud. He's not good. He is not good. All of these players don't give a shit. Why would they care about the Nations League?
That's what it looks like.
Why would they care? Because you know what? Playing for the U.S. men's national team doesn't do anything for your career. If you are a European player, people don't care or rate the U.S. or really even care at all about international play, if you're on a really high tier Serie A team or a Premier League team or a championship team even, like, why would they care? It's just another chance for you to get hurt. And guess what? You're already American, so you're already playing on this uphill battle of you're not a real soccer player, right? I can acknowledge that. People don't respect Americans in soccer. Like, think about all the shit that Christian Pulisic went through. I don't think he's that amazing of a player personally, which, I'm going to get canceled after this whole rant.
But this definitely getting you canceled.
I don't think he's
keep cooking.
I don't think he's like this insane, superstar. I think he's a good soccer player, but like, I'm sorry. I think if Jordan Morris was healthier and had his run in the championship, I think he probably would have been playing in Europe for the rest of his career. But regardless, it's all to say, like, you need a player like Diego Luna or
Diego Luna and Patrick Agimon, two MLS players, were the only ones who could score a goal for that team.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's so funny to me that, like, those are the guys who will consistently put you on their back. They're the ones playing against this type of competition. They're the ones who give a shit. Because guess what? If you're playing, you know what? People want to say whatever they want to say about MLS lifers. There are people who love this league. There are people who rate this league. There are people who are happy to play for their hometown club or play for a team where they grew up watching, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And you have players like Diego Luna and all of that who have worked their ass off, and this means something to them. You think this means something to Christian Pulisic and Tyler Adams, who, like, are just going to go back to their super multi-million-dollar salaries? They don't care about Nations League. Why are you calling them up, Poke? Why are you calling them up? You're telling me for real that, I mean, Jordan Morris obviously not healthy. Jordan Morris scores against fucking Panama.
He might.
Jesus Ferreira.
Yeah, this is blazing hot.
I'm tired of it too, Ari.
I love it though. I'm just gonna read a tweet from Landon Donovan because I mean,
read that. Whatever that idiot has to say.
People are going to cancel you for that. But this is a take from Landon Donovan. This isn't Noah. This is Landon Donovan.
There you go.
Landon Donovan says, "I'm so sick of hearing how, quote, talented this group of players is and all the amazing clubs they play for.
There you go.
If you aren't going to show up and actually give a shit about playing for your national team, decline the invite. Talent is great. Pride is better." Exactly,
dude.
Exactly.
This is exactly.
And
the
I don't
problem.
think. I think your take there was hotter than that, but not by much.
I'm just being, obviously dramatic about it for the clicks and the views, but the reality is like, why the hell is Christian Pulisic sitting there yelling back at his coach and saying, "I'm not coming out. I'm not." Did you see that?
Yeah.
He literally said, "I'm not subbing out. Hey, idiot, you were playing like shit. You're bad. You were playing bad, okay? Get your ass off the field. You are nobody. You are nobody, bro. You are going to go down in history as nobody. Nobody."
Woo! All right.
I'm tired of it, Ari.
The USMNT section got even hotter than I was expecting.
I'm tired of it.
But no, that was sick. That was sick.
I put down an agenda too.
Yeah,
Should I read
no,
my
like
agenda? I'm just going to keep on the
keep
heater.
Keep ripping.
Listen, Pochettino, whatever. He's fine. He's fine.
I don't think he is.
He's fine. I'm just saying, like, he's a fine coach. I'm sure he would be great somewhere. I'm sure whatever. He doesn't know how to get it done in CONCACAF. You need a proven winner against teams like this, against the shithousery of CONCACAF, against people who know in and out this league, have built rosters with big talent and small talent, and are able to gel a group not only on vibes, but are able to discipline players when they need to be sat the hell down, even when they're the best of the best. You know who would have done that, Ari?
Oh, this is going to be hot.
Brian Schmetzer would have been a 10 times better coach than Poke. Okay? And here's why. I'll give you two examples. Here's my first one. Last season, when his superstar was throwing a fit, having one of the worst seasons he's ever played, club legend, all of that, you know what he did? He benched him for an unproven bottom of the roster player who put the team on his back and led them literally led them, gave his own legs. His legs were ruined by the end of the season, okay? Gave his own legs to bring them to a Western Conference final. The man by the name of Paul Rothrock, call him up. But that's the reality. You need a coach who respects and understands that the people who want to be there day in and day out, grind it out, give it their all, not the people who play for the club with the big name. Brian Schmetzer would have been able to coach this team not only to a Nations League win, but I think to a competitive competition in Copa America. I'm going to say it, okay? He is the type of player who knows how to win tournaments. He's the type of player who knows how to get guys to gel. He's a type of coach who is able to actually work within the confines of a really shitty roster management, okay? He will work with whatever he has, and he will build a championship winning team with superstars and scrubs and whatever. Okay? Brian Schmetzer should have gotten the job.
That's a hot agenda. The only thing I disagree with is that Polk is a fine coach. I think he might just not know what
he
he's
might
doing.
just be bad.
I think he might just be bad. I don't know.
What do you think about Brian Schmetzer? Do you think Brian would have
been a good for USMNT? Yeah, no, I think that I just don't know if he would have wanted or taken that job.
Well, he said he wanted it.
Oh, I guess he did. Yeah.
He literally he went on the radio with our
he
friend
was
of
like,
the pod,
yeah,
Jackson Phelps.
He did say like if that opportunity came, like I would, like
they didn't even
any
give him a
coach
call.
would be interested. Yeah. The thing is, I feel like pretty much anything would be better than what we're seeing right now. So,
and to add insult to injury, you literally have Greg Berhalter turning around the worst club, the most cursed club in Major League Soccer. Dude took a team that literally needed an exorcism to a winning streak and beating the best club in MLS right now. He literally beat the Vancouver Whitecaps, who had done something only like 4 clubs had ever done in the history of MLS, right? Like they had this insane winning streak and all of this stuff, or to start the season at least. Guess who gets it done? Guess who gets it done, Ari? Greg Berhalter.
Yeah.
Greg would have won this game.
That's another good agenda. Well, I think, I don't know. We say the Berhalter stuff somewhat in jest, or at least I do. But I mean, he at least won Nations League, man.
He at least won Nations League 3 times. I mean,
all right. Well, I think that's enough USMNT punditry. Let's
I'm
keep
gonna get the
here.
bots in my mentions.
No, are you down just for in the interest of time, just to go right to the transfer stuff?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, because this is actually an exciting story surrounding the Seattle Sounders. A new player. A new player might be signed, as per report from Sounder at Heart and Pulso Sports. Nico Moreno, also my co-host on Lobbing Scorchers Kickoff, where we actually broke this live on stream. Like, well, the report got published while we were streaming, and then we got to talk about it like right as it came out. So that was kind of cool. That's why you should tune into our live shows.
There you
go. Ryan Kent. Supposedly,
Roy Kent, like the guy from
talks. Yes, that was
Ted
the
Lasso?
first exact reference that I made as well. They're signing the guy from Ted Lasso. If you look at his Wikipedia page, which I'm doing right now, the picture literally it looks like one of the players from Ted Lasso. So everyone's going to be getting those jokes in, which is I think is fine. He's gonna. I think. As soon as that show came out, that probably became the story of Ryan Kent's entire career.
Yeah.
But basically, the situation with this player is that he has been playing in Turkey for Fenerbahce. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't know how the Turkish top flight clubs are pronounced, but that's the club that Jose Mourinho coaches right now. And apparently Ryan Kent and Jose Mourinho didn't see eye to eye on a few issues, and he got released from that team. He's now a free agent. He's a Liverpool Academy product. He's played in the Championship for Coventry City, Barnsley. He's done stints with Bristol City, but his main claim to fame was his time in the Scottish Premiership with Rangers, where he was a really good at times dominant player, honestly, in the Scottish League. From what I can tell, he was considered one of the better attackers in that league. And he was at one time, according to Transfer Market, valued at around $20 million. And that has declined based, I think, on the falling out he's had with coaches, maybe a little like downturn in form, but it is kind of a classic like distressed asset type situation.
Yeah.
So people are going to be calling it money balling, which
I mean, it is.
It is.
It
too.
is.
It
He's
is,
literally free.
Yeah, it is money balling to an extent, but I guess let's just talk about what we think he could bring to the table, because I mean it's effectively your Paul Arriola replacement. I think skill set wise there are some similarities there, and I think mainly it's the idea is to provide another threat and creativity from out wide, which I'm all for that if he can bring that to the table. I think the issue here might be like motivation and buy-in and just general temperament rather than talent. But if they can harness all that and get him locked in, I think it seems to me that there's a chance that he can be a plus contributor for this team.
I mean, if anyone can do that, it's Brian Schmetzer.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, and we've seen the Sounders do stuff like this before. So, I'm all for it from like a skill set perspective. I think it could be a positive. So I've been looking up his career a little bit, and so like when I look up his YouTube highlights, I like what I see in the sense that he's kind of a maniac out there. Like he plays with his hair on fire. Like he is running like just full speed, like a little like not out of control, but just like he's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
There's a clip of him when they were playing Celtic in that famous Scottish derby. He punched a guy.
Yep.
So like
he's face puncher guy 2.0.
So obviously, like we don't condone that.
No.
You can't do stuff like that because you'll get red carded and you shouldn't punch people.
No. Or banned from an indoor soccer league.
But what I will say is that I think a maniac, a guy who just plays the game like a goddamn maniac, which Ryan Kent seems to, that could be something that this team could be a boost to this team. Just a little more craziness out there in a controlled and productive way, not in like a punching people way. But like I like the fact that he plays high octane and high intensity style.
I think this is an interesting transfer. For me, it's really funny because I see people online like, "Oh, let's go! This is a good transfer because he's a European player.
Yeah,
he's English, so therefore this is a good transfer." When they apparently were, according to Nico on the live stream, which you should go watch, they were also looking at Bob T, one of our favorite players.
Seems a little similar to Bob T.
Yeah, Robert Taylor is also English, so like
no, he's Finnish.
He's Finnish. Okay, whatever. they're all European. He's European. He's also a Eurostar, but also in MLS, so it doesn't count as a good transfer. And who's the other one? The former Atlanta player and then Inter Miami player, Gressel.
Yes,
Julian
Gressel.
That was another one. How do you rate, like, do you think this was, when you compare the three, I mean, obviously you haven't done a ton of research on this guy, you don't know a lot about him, but like, would you have rather had a known asset like a Robert Taylor or this face puncher 2.0 guy?
I think if it was Robert Taylor, I would view it roughly the same. Although I feel like we would like that more because
we have been advocating for them to sign Bob T.
And
as a joke.
We're like longtime Bob T fans.
Yeah.
So I think like we would have been fired up about it from that perspective. But I don't think ultimately I would have viewed it like all that differently. I feel like they're pretty comparable. Gressel is one where I would have been stoked if it was a couple years ago. If it was a couple years ago, I would have been like over the moon if they were able to get Gressel. I think he has been one of the best, some of the best wide service in the league for years. But I just don't really know what's going on with him at Inter Miami, like why he fell out of favor, if there's issues there, like where they either think that he's washed or something. That's why I get paused with Gressel.
He probably just like farted next to Messi, and Messi was like, "Get this motherfucker off." I
I don't know why, because Gressel has been a very, very good player in the league for a long time,
and he's a podcaster. So like we have to respect him.
Exactly,
like he's in our line of work.
But I just I think if it had been Gressel, on one hand, I would have been like, all right, like I've watched him play a ton and I know what he can do and I feel like he could be an asset to the team. But I would also be like, why is he so far out of favor at Miami to where he's like not even playing? So I would have questioned that.
It is weird. That whole situation is weird, man.
But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if this Ryan Kent thing gets finalized. But I think realistically, like what he's going to bring or could bring to the table is similar to what Bob T could have.
Bring back Dylan Tevez.
That's a good agenda. We should put that in there. He also apparently owns alligators.
He does. He's an alligator owner.
So that's, I mean, I don't know if he's going to
pet alligators. He can't. It's illegal in Washington.
Really?
Yeah. So that was like a whole thing. I was doing my research, obviously, on Roy Kent and Ryan Kent. And he owns pet alligators, and he was allegedly trying to go to like Iran or something, the Iranian football league, because you're allowed to own alligators there.
That was like his criteria.
Yeah. Or maybe it was Saudi Pro League or something. Hopefully I don't know. I'm getting it wrong. But it's some Asian football
Hopefully they
club.
can get him a waiver to bring his alligators. I mean,
you should be like, you should be able to.
I wonder, like, does he keep them just confined, or can he pet? Are they domesticated?
I feel like he's like the type of guy who's just like, you know the type of guys who just like walk around in their underwear around their house, like no care in the world, like mansion, and he's just got his alligators chilling in the living room.
Yeah, I guess I'm very curious to learn
How
about that.
How long do alligators live?
That's a good.
I feel like that's we got
to do our alligator research if they're going to sign this guy.
If they sign him, Sounders PR, can we take him to the zoo and like ask him about alligator facts? Like I think that'd be a good video.
The alligator thing is going to be certainly going to be content.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone else on the team who has alligators.
I feel like, but that's
Steph Fry has the wrinkly dogs.
The wrinkly dogs are cute, but this is a player we've never seen before. A guy who is insanely eccentric in a way.
He's eccentric. I think
he's like a very like. It's funny we compare him to Roy Kent, but he is like a made for TV player,
right?
Like he's just.
I kind of like that though. That's sort of something about this signing that I'm intrigued by, is the eccentricity and the and just his style of play. Like I think
it'll be good for him.
Like I think a high energy, high octane, like all out intensity type player. Which if you watch his YouTube highlights, that's what he seems to be. I'm definitely interested as to like what a player of that profile could bring to this team. Alligators or no alligators.
Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe he'll become a Florida Gators fan. I don't know.
He might have to.
Yeah. Like it is actually surprising that he didn't sign with Miami though. Cause you are, I assume, allowed to have pet alligators down there. Cause they kind of just roam around.
They have a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Ryan, if you're listening to the podcast, we would love to meet your alligators.
I don't know if
you don't want to meet him. You wouldn't say what's up.
I don't really do alligators.
You don't
I'll
really
be honest.
do alligators.
I'll be honest. Not much of an alligator guy myself.
New agenda.
I have nothing against an alligator guy, but
new agenda. I only want my attackers to own alligators from now on.
Anyway, we'll be keeping tabs on if this gets finalized. A new player is always exciting.
Who's the guy who the guy who's like, oh, I'm from down under, and he was like, didn't he die from
the
like
crocodile
an
hunter?
Yeah,
Steve Irwin.
Yeah, Steve Irwin. Is this we're signing
hunter.
Steve Irwin?
That apparently
that's fire.
All right, I think we covered his playing style, his earlier career, and the alligators. So I think that. Think we can just hit some winners and losers and then get out of here.
Do we have time to hit this other one, or should we save it for next step?
Let's hit that like 1 minute.
Okay. Well, we can save it for next step then.
All right, let's just save it for next step. All right,
so this is what you get live on our podcast here, folks.
Okay. Winners and losers for Matchday 5 in MLS. I'm just gonna rapid fire my takes here. Winners, LAFC, I put them on Fraud Watch, but they slammed the Club of Professional Wrestling.
That win
doesn't
2-0, count.
Which it doesn't count, but if
they're on a 12-game losing streak, aren't they?
No, they tied one. They
haven't
won one. Yeah, like
12.
They haven't won one in like 12 or 13. So they're we'll see what happens with old Peter V down there.
Peter V is literally invincible.
LAFC, I put him on Fraud Watch and they got a big dub. So I think
David Martinez though looks
and that's exactly
good.
that.
I like
that goal he scored. I'm like, okay.
He's coming out. He's breaking out, which like, that's whatever. This is a Galaxy podcast. Actually, I feel like we've pretend that we're not a Galaxy podcast anymore for how bad they are.
I never. We
don't acknowledge the Galaxy. Terrible team. But David Martinez, man, I'm in love with that.
If you haven't seen that goal,
with that player,
I don't go watch it. You're not gonna.
It's
a nice
happy.
goal, but you're not gonna be happy.
Yeah.
Chicago Fire, I got him in here again. They slammed the Whitecaps.
Berhalter literally did a crime against his own son.
This was the Berhalter derby, which I forgot until I was watching the end of it. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's kind of must be mixed emotions. Someone who I think deserves to sit back and have a good laugh at the plight of the U.S. men's national fraud squad is Greg Berhalter. I bet it's pretty difficult for him to not just sit back on his couch just like this and be like,
"Yep,
wasn't so bad, was it?
Yep,
wasn't so bad. It literally, you guys got the guy that you wanted, and it got worse, and that's funny.
It's so good,
and
man.
like in all seriousness, he has the Chicago Fire playing really good ball. That's 3 straight wins. And it looks like he might be a good coach after all.
He actually excised the demons from the Chicago Fire.
I mean, I'm gonna wait to like fully call that, but
they can always come back, Ari. It's just
looking,
like
they're looking good. They're looking good, and Berhalter deserves his credit.
In my mind, they hired a priest to come into the locker room with holy water, and that's just, you can't convince me otherwise.
That's the only way I think that they could have gotten out of that. Charlotte FC continue to look good. They slammed the Quakes, who the Sounders are playing. We didn't preview that at all. Damn it. Oh, well.
That's fine.
And then honorable mention to Orlando City for their 4-1 over DC United. Losers. This is a bit harkening back to last year. Seattle Sounders shut out at home by the Houston Dynamo.
Are we going to have to do the thing where if they don't score, we don't talk about them?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That was a whole bit.
Or multiple goals. Yeah. Or like don't lead the show. Yeah. Might have to bring that back. Hopefully not. My other loser, the Houston Dynamo, came to Seattle. And, it's fine to come to Seattle and play for 0-0, I guess. That's what a lot of teams do. But I'm going to put you in the loser section if you play negative soccer, which Ben Olsen literally admitted post-game that they did.
He does love to do that.
And then RSL, I'm putting as a loser because they play at America First Field. I don't even remember what their result was. I think they lost.
They're just a loser for
we all lose.
Perpetuating
we all lose for that.
The American
name.
First agenda.
All right, that was all I had. Did you have anything else league-wide takeaways that you wanted to hit? Or
nothing league-wide. We'll save that other discourse. I mean, unless you want to hit on the Lodeiro disrespect discourse quickly.
Well, Nico and I hit on that pretty extensively.
Okay,
we'll
cut a video for that.
So yeah, if you want takes on the Nico Lodeiro potential disrespect, go watch the VOD of Lobbing Scorchers kickoff, and we hit that with Nico Moreno.
Sweet.
All right, let's just call it right there then for episode 89. Thank you, as always, so much, everyone, for tuning in. Appreciate all the support on our pods and our streams. Having a great time putting this content out, even though the results aren't super great right now. But we're going to keep covering the team, goddammit. Like, comment, subscribe.
Rate 5 stars.
Rate 5 stars.
Share with Roy Kent's alligators.
Share with the alligators. Like this video. Like all our just go through all of our videos and like every single one. Am I missing anything?
No.
All right. I think that's it. I'll be back at it on Thursday for Thursday 7:30 p.m. Lobbing Scorchers Under the Lights live on our YouTube. Until then, we out.
Peace.